Even if I did, there was no way he heard. The reporters were having fits of giggles about it all, but I cut in. Lies, lies. That only made them laugh harder. Willie, too. Now, he says, I can't help but wonder if there wasn't something else at play. I was training to get to the front lines, the same place Willie'd been training to get, but the palace had scuttled his plans. The spare? Sure. Let him run around on a battlefield like a chicken with his head cut off. It's what he likes, but the heir?
History to repeat itself, which is pretty dark.
That's quite a statement. Who do you think that is?
I'm not going to share it at this point. You know, I know all the names of the people that were involved in this process. And again, you know, you have to question, why wasn't I put through the same risk management board that everybody else was put through, including members of my family?
And you rejected
Prince Harry's fall just hit rock bottom. Prince William has officially shut him out of the 2025 BAFTA Awards. After all the interviews, the drama, and the attacks on the royals, Harry's finally getting frozen out. The message is loud and clear. He's no longer welcome among Britain's elite. Prince Harry has reportedly been blocked from attending the 2025 BAFTA TV Awards. And here's the twist. It wasn't about safety, media chaos, or some royal rulebook. The one calling the shots? Allegedly, his own brother, Prince William. Quick pause. Don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe. You know the drill. Now back to the drama.
To repeat itself.
Yeah, I don't want history to repeat itself. I think there's a lot of other people out there, the majority, that also don't want history to repeat itself.
Yes, the same brothers who once stood side by side at their mother's funeral, who once promised to always have each other's backs, are now locked in a royal feud that's more explosive than ever.
Not only championed the industry's rising stars, but has helped to inspire the next generation of acting talent to pursue their dreams.
Sources close to the palace say Prince Harry quietly reached out to BAFTA organizers, hoping to make a low-key but meaningful appearance at the high-profile event.
History to repeat itself, which is pretty dark.
That's quite a statement. Who do you think that is?
I'm not going to share it at this point. You know, I know all the names of the people that were involved in this process. And again, you know, you have to question, why wasn't I put through the same risk management board that everybody else was put through, including members of my family?
And you rejected
For Harry, this was meant to be a step toward redemption. A chance to show the British public he wasn't just the rebel royal, but someone ready to return with dignity and start mending old wounds.
Brown, head of BAFTA and team leader of the BAFTA Be Better committee. I was told there was an Alan coming?
I am Alan coming.
Yes, indeed. Now, Alan arrived. Sorry about the letter on the chair, our email's down.
I know what this is about. You've nominated Lala as best canine co-host of a competition reality show, haven't you?
That isn't a category.
Well, it should be.
Look, you're a busy-ish man, so I'll cut to the chase. We at BAFTA, for this year's television award.
What did he get instead? A cold, silent rejection. No welcome, no reason, just a hard no. And insiders say that no came straight from Prince William. Let's not forget, William is the president of BAFTA. And this wasn't about seating or press. This felt personal.
No longer a working royal.
Sorry?
And you reject that it has nothing to do with the fact that you're no longer a working royal.
Whether I have an official role or not is irrelevant to the security that
Behind the royal curtains, the tension is boiling over. The once inseparable brothers are now caught in a storm. From Harry's explosive memoir Spare, to Meghan's Netflix series, to their non-stop public criticism of the monarchy, sources say Prince William has had enough.
One of those drab cloaks, okay? I'm just not.
He feels betrayed, one insider said. William believes Harry crossed the line a long time ago, and there's no coming back, especially not on his stage. Think about that. The future King of England allegedly used his power to block his own brother from one of the UK's biggest nights, with the cameras rolling and the world watching. So what does that mean for the monarchy?
And where no one can hear you scream. This castle is home to the traitors. But in a cruel twist of fate, Alan Cumming, the devilishly handsome host of the Traitors US, is summoned to receive a letter. By order of the British Academy of Film and Television Arts, you have been summoned to the Traitors.
For their already strained brotherhood, insiders say this might be the final nail in the coffin. A public reunion? Don't count on it. And any private peace talks? Still completely up in the air.
This BAFTA bombshell is just the latest chapter in a royal saga that's starting to feel more like a Netflix drama than a fairy tale.
Prince William's decision to reportedly block Harry from the 2025 BAFTAs wasn't just about the red carpet. It was calculated, a move tied to his growing role as future king. Each year, William's influence grows, and so does the pressure to protect the monarchy's image. This wasn't about one event. It was about control, image, and drawing a line. Insiders say William didn't see Harry's appearance as harmless. To him, it was a distraction, a walking headline that could steal the spotlight from the whole event. He didn't want the night turning into the Harry and Meghan show again, one royal correspondent explained. This wasn't about payback, it was about keeping the spotlight where it belonged and protecting the royal image. As BAFTA president, William has built a reputation as the steady hand, someone who champions British talent and keeps the spotlight on the work, not the drama. But when it came to Harry, sources say William believed his presence would hijack the moment, pulling attention away from the nominees and reopening old wounds. More than anything, this was a moment of quiet power. A chance for William to act not just as a brother, but as a future king, keeping the royal narrative on track. After years of emotional chaos, bombshell interviews, and Harry's explosive book Spare, William is reportedly cautious about anything that could reignite old drama. Whether or not they're a threat to the family name, and honestly, I agree they are, one source said. This isn't about being petty, another palace insider added. William's trying to protect what little is left of the royal image. To him, this was about setting boundaries.
I don't know, didn't you go into detail how much, the royal family costs or how much protection costs or whatever. What I will say is that some of the British tabloid press did a very good job in campaigning.
In the end, William's message wasn't pure hostility. It was a warning. From now on, every public appearance, especially the big ones, will be tightly controlled. And in this new royal era, even family comes second to duty.
That you get the protection that you require because of your public service.
Prince William and Prince Harry now stand as the faces of one of the most bitter royal fallouts in modern history. And if you ask Harry, the real problem wasn't just the media or the monarchy, it was William.
It wasn't a choice. I've served my country for 35 years. I believe that I am still continuing to serve my country. Public service is my life. That is the dedication that will never change. And then all the other bits and pieces that are added to that. There are very, very real threats that exist out there.
In his tell-all memoir Spare, Harry doesn't hold anything back. He lifts the curtain on a brotherhood filled with jealousy, coldness, and deep betrayal going back years. He doesn't describe William as the calm, dutiful heir the public sees. Instead, Harry paints him as rigid, condescending, and sometimes flat-out cruel. He claims William mocked him, pushed him aside, and never treated him as an equal. And then came the bombshells. Harry said William and Kate encouraged him to wear that infamous Nazi costume, the one that sparked global outrage and haunted him for years. He also suggested William's coldness only got worse once Meghan Markle came into the picture. Her popularity, her modern energy, the love she received, Harry says it stirred a quiet storm of resentment inside his brother. But this is where the story splits. William's side, always silent and traditional, tells a very different version. Palace insiders say it was William who tried to hold the family together while Harry became more and more unpredictable. From fiery interviews and media wars to open shots at the crown, William reportedly saw Harry as someone attacking not just him, but the entire institution they were born into. Then came the moment that grabbed headlines around the world, the alleged physical fight. A shove, a shattered dog bowl, and two royal brothers clashing. Not just out of anger, but raw despair. For royal watchers, this wasn't just sibling drama, it was a symbol. A crown, split straight down the middle. Some fans still hold on to the hope that these two might one day reconcile. But the truth? It's a lot harsher. William, now locked in on his future as king, has his eyes on duty. Meanwhile, Harry, living in California as a father and media voice, seems determined to keep speaking his truth, even if it means burning every bridge behind him. What used to be a private family feud is now a global spectacle. It's unfolding through books, interviews, headlines, and icy silence. And if Spare was meant to create understanding, it may have done the opposite, locking in a rift that time, distance, and even blood might never heal. Behind the scenes, insiders described Harry's reaction to the BAFTA snub as a storm of emotion. And honestly, who could blame him? After years of trying to balance reinvention with redemption, this felt like a punch to the gut. It wasn't just skipping a red carpet, it was being shut out by his own brother, in his own country, with the world watching. Sources close to the Sussex Circle say Harry was left furious, embarrassed, and deeply alone. After years of backlash, harsh headlines, and constant media pressure, he saw the BAFTAs as a quiet chance to reset. A calm, dignified return that might help heal his broken bond with the British public. But instead of a comeback, he got a cold, calculated rejection. And worse, he believes it came straight from William. Harry felt blindsided, one insider said. He reached out with good intentions. He thought he was offering peace, but instead, it felt like a slap. To Harry, this wasn't just a no, it was a message. A painful reminder that no matter how many speeches he gives, deals he signs, or causes he supports, the royal machine still sees him as an outsider. A problem. He believes William used his royal power to lock him out. Not just from the BAFTAs, but from Britain itself, the source added. It's like being exiled, not by a country, but by your own family. The emotional hit? Crippling. Insiders say Harry felt like a man without a country, pushed out of the world he was born into, and misunderstood in the one he chose. Meghan, always by his side, reportedly tried to comfort him. She reminded him of the life they built together in California. But even she couldn't take away the sting of being publicly rejected by his own brother. This wasn't just a missed opportunity, it was a fresh wound layered over years of scars. And for Harry, it might have been the clearest sign yet that the path back into the royal family isn't just blocked, it's locked tight. I believe my life was devalued the moment I stopped being useful. With that haunting line, Prince Harry shattered any illusion of unconditional love within the royal family. His voice may be calm, but the pain underneath is sharp. To him, protection isn't a right, it's a reward. And the moment he walked away from his royal duties, that reward disappeared. Harry's message couldn't be more clear. In the House of Windsor, safety is something you earn by staying in line. The moment you step out, even your life becomes negotiable. Then there's the media. Harry believes they played a dirty game, pumping out exaggerated numbers about the cost of his security to stir public outrage. He says it was a coordinated smear campaign designed to make him look like a greedy former royal asking for handouts. But what most people don't realize, Harry claims that many private citizens at risk still receive state-funded protection. The difference, in his eyes, is punishment. He's being penalized for leaving the royal bubble. And the threats against him, he says, are still real, still rooted in his bloodline. Yet this fight over security is just the surface. Beneath it is something far more painful. Harry says his relationship with King Charles has gone completely silent. No calls, no contact, nothing. The father who once comforted him during the darkest days is now just gone. According to Harry, that bond has crumbled under the weight of public pressure and unresolved pain, and until the security issue is settled, he says reconciliation isn't even possible. Even though Harry insists he doesn't want this legal war to drag on, he's not stepping away. Because for him, this isn't just about bodyguards. It's about being seen, being heard, and being valued. Not as a royal, but as a human being. Harry has made big claims before, but this one goes even further. He now alleges that members of the royal family want him dead, And worse, that they've conspired with the British government to put him in harm's way. Yes, you heard that right. The accusation was so extreme, even his loyal supporters were shaken. Critics didn't hold back either, calling his words delusional, reckless, and dangerous, especially coming from someone who repeatedly says all he wants is reconciliation. But here's the contradiction. How do you ask for peace while lobbing accusations? That question is tearing the family even further apart, and according to insiders, Prince William is done. He's reached his limit. No more calls, no more meetings, no more second chances. As far as the future king is concerned, this chapter is over.